Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Astral Tourist. So it's been a busy, hectic couple of days here for me. I kind of missed the strawberry full moon because I was in transit traveling and just really busy with life stuff. So I've covered this in other videos, but even if you miss the peak of the full moon, you can still take advantage of the energies within a couple of days afterwards too. So I decided to draw down the moon, the strawberry full moon, from the hotel room. I couldn't even see the moon. I wasn't sure if it would be helpful or work, but I did feel energy coming in. I made a little song, but it wasn't really very good, so I never posted it. If anybody really wants to hear it, let me know, but it was just like an okay kind of chanting about drawing down the moon. And anyone can do that in meditation, just tuning into the energies, the lunar energies, and becoming one. And it's a really blissful thing to do, even if you don't want to astral project. But I thought I'm going to try to astral project from my hotel room because I was really curious what I might see. I'm in the New York City area right now, and I wanted to give it a go. So anyway, it was really incredible. I'm so happy I did. I encountered more UFOs, so many, a whole fleet. Oh my gosh. So I was just out in the city streets. There weren't any other people out in the streets. It was kind of a mid-astral zone. Nothing special, maybe a little higher mid-astral dimension going on. There were, the houses and buildings and things. And I looked up in the sky, and there were these long rectangular black UFOs, shiny black, and some of them had like a little string coming down, and they were like hauling little smaller rectangular kinds of items. I think smaller black ones, UFOs, I don't know. There were silver ones, the silver saucers. I saw about, I think, a group of 4, could have been 5. These were moving very, very quickly, very fast, and there were so many. Like a group would go by that was a mixed group like that, and then another group would go by that was a mixed group like that. And also there were the boomerang shapes, the black boomerang shapes, and some small rounder ones that were just flat. Like think of a record, like in the old-fashioned record players, you'd put a record in, and now remove the label and just put a hole in the middle of it. And I think some people call these the donut shapes. And I had to look this up, and I guess sometimes they've been called the void ships because they're so black and they just have that empty in the middle there, or the donut-shaped UFOs. So I was just drifting along towards the street level, and I decided to stay out of their way just because they were going so fast. I mean, I'm so curious. I wanted to know more, but I also didn't want to get in the way. So I was just like drifting along, and I noticed, and I wasn't sure if this was like in relation to me at all or not, but like there was this one moment where the boomerang shapes, a group of them, I think it was a group of 3, like just tipped their noses down slightly and then back up in formation. But then it was after that suddenly one of those record-shaped ones, the void ships, whatever they're called, one of them came and landed right at my feet. And it kind of made a little plop, too, like it wasn't completely graceful. And so I just was like, I was holding really still, and it wasn't doing anything, and I wasn't doing anything, right? And so I said, I am open to peaceful contact only. Actually, I said hello first. I said hello, like in a curious way, and then I said, I'm open to peaceful contact only. And I wasn't sure what was going to happen, if anything. But then, in like this AI kind of a voice, and also like a little bit of a musical voice, like a combination. It said Mozart. Mozart, if you couldn't understand me there. I'm trying my best to like replicate it, and I can't, of course. Mozart. But it was more musical even than that. And I said, yes, Mozart is a type of music. I will keep telepathing and thinking in English while you process language translation. And I was just trying to like give it the go ahead, like, yes, yes, like we can communicate. But it was trying to communicate, of course, harmonically. So I wasn't really sure, like, if I was going to hear a song next or get images. But instead, the whole scene transformed. We were still in the street in the astral. I could feel that. But it was like, it generated like this whole VR around us. It became like a shadowy kind of figure with a cloak on and a hood, but there was nothing in it. So this was like a very neutral, shadowy looking being, but I did not sense any negativity. So I was just going with it. I was like, as long as I'm not feeling malice or negativity, it still counts as peaceful contact, right? And the scene around us became one from like an amalgamation of scenes from my past. And, stuff was overflowing and spilling all over the place. And I knew already what it was getting at. So I used to get in trouble so much for spilling things, and not the usual kind of trouble. My family was a very troubled family growing up. And so it was trying to question me about human emotion, and in particular, the difference in me from then and now. Like, it was curious, like, how did I get from where I was then to being so in control and of my emotions and being so positive now? And then it was also like asking me, like, it was this whole multi-layered question in the telepathy. And it was also like trying to do like a comparison or a chart for New York City in general too. Like, it was like there's that that I went through, and then there's the whole progression of, all the emotional work I did, and the meditation, and the work with astral projection, and increasing my vibration, and becoming this wonderfully positive person. And then there's New York and all the people in it and all of their various frequencies. And I think it was like trying to generate like this whole big, like, universal chart of human emotion, or at least New York City emotion or something, and how I would compare in that. And it was doing it in this super expansive way. And it wanted to know more about the difference in my past and me now. And then it was going to like continue on its own with its own projections, using other people's data too and everything. So they're very, very curious about our emotional development here on Earth. Oh my gosh. So that's my big takeaway from that. And I did try to like tell it about time a little bit, because it was like acting like everything is happening all at once. And in a way, in some dimensions, time can be seen that way. But I was also trying to explain that, in my perspective, especially in the past, it was more progressional. And all of the work that I did and everything, it took longer. And I was trying to show it like a line, like, and stretching it out. But it wasn't really understanding that. So then I did like a whole 3-dimensional thing of my own. And I tried to fill in the colors. The more neon colors were for now and moving into my future. And then the paler colors fading out kind of were like my past. So I don't know how much it was able to understand from that particular point of view. But I did my best. And oh my gosh, I was just so thrilled to be able to make contact with this being. Now, the question a lot of people, I think, have is, what are these void ships, these donut ships? Are they completely AI? Do they have an intelligence? And I can only report my feeling about this experience. So to me, what it felt like at first was AI, but then after it did that whole generation of everything, I think it's some kind of a blended intelligence because I could sense a presence there. So I'm thinking it's either sentient AI, but I also had the feeling of organic life of some type or a mind. So my other theory is like it's a long distance phone call and they're using the donut shaped uh, UFO disk void chip uh, to communicate, like a telephone, like a long distance telephone from Arcturus. And the reason I'm saying Arcturus is because I did a little bit of research and apparently they're known for these types of ships, but I don't really know who the caller was. I really don't. But I did feel that like somebody was on the other side, a being of some kind. So I also have like this strong impression of like it was a long distance phone call and the AI was, like the telephone or the translator, only of course far more advanced than I guess anything we have. So that was my experience. And I did the research and these have been reported before, particularly in Long Island. And apparently there's like this whole astral gateway, I guess, in Long Island that I'm not fully versed about. Maybe others can chime in and tell me more about these types of UFOs. I'm curious about the rectangular ones that were I guess maybe some kind of cargo ships or something. The motherships. I'm curious, like which species those might be associated with, and what other people think. Like these void discs. Which species do you think the void discs are associated with? I was not getting like reptilian vibes. So I don't know. Maybe Arcturian, maybe something else. Please let me know in the comments if you have information about this. I know some people. I've read some people are saying like that the boomerang shaped ones are some kind of military stuff that was like based on crashed UFOs or something. But again, I'm not a big expert in this. I just report my experiences. My expertise is astral projecting and having these in-person experiences. So that's where my expertise is. But as far as like deep research, I rely on others for that because I'm so busy, in my life with other things too. And then this and just getting the experiences down and reporting them just as is. And I will let you all decide what you think about them. I mean, of course, I have my own opinions, and I expect you all to have your own opinions, and I think that that's wonderful. And if you've had experiences, particularly with like these round discs, I don't see much out there about these at all when I just try to do basic searches. So I think there's not a lot of information out there, and I wonder if people aren't reporting them because they're like, maybe I shouldn't because maybe, it's not like the silver flying saucer or something one. But, I've seen them. They're out there. And I have seen a few other reports about them. So, I'm just deeply curious about others' experiences in person, in the astral. Let me know your thoughts, please. So keep in mind, because I'm traveling, I'm using the travel mic, so the sound is usually better when I do the podcast from home. Thanks so much for tuning in. Lots of love to everybody. And it's still not too late to tune into the energies of the strawberry full moon, even though we're a little past it, because especially for astral travel, because in the astral time it can be kind of blended and the dimensions can mishmash up a bit. So you can still take advantage of it. So if you think you missed it, think again. I'm going to try again tonight. I tried last night and I didn't get anything. This was from the night before. And so I think tonight probably we're like right on the edge there of maybe not being able to utilize the full moon energy quite as much, but it's still doable tonight. So happy astral travels, everyone, however you're astral traveling. And have a wonderful week. And I will keep everyone updated as best as I can when I get little moments to sign on. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share this with others if you think they will find it of interest, in this case, particularly the UFO community. And I'm just so thrilled to have seen another fleet. Oh my gosh, another fleet. And I got to have contact. And I'm just so excited about it. So thanks so much, everyone. And I will maybe see you in the astral.